When it comes to gaming, it seems like Microsoft is always on the fail bus. They don't seem to do very well, especially when it comes to installations. And now, installation time apparently counts as playtime on Steam, which is making it impossible for people to get out underneath this terrible version of Flight Simulator 2024. Don't know what we're talking about? Well, let's get to it on That Game Plays. Hi, friends, it's me, CC, here with the pair of guys that probably know more about games than most of the games journalists that actually are in the field. I've got, of course, Loki from Mornings of Mischief and my pal Nolan Thunder, well, from Nolan Thunder. You can check out all these guys on the description down below, but we need to jump right into this game. Gentlemen, have you ever played Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Oh yeah.
I've played Train Simulator, but not Flight Simulator. Tell me more.
All right. Well, let's jump into telling you more about, well, this mess. And this is a mess. That's right. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 fails to take off as launch day issues continue to prevent players from accessing game. This sounds fun so far. What do you guys think?
Oh, that sounds
I love
great.
staring at a loading screen trying to get into a game. It's just an absolute blast. It's like the Mike Tyson fight. It's great.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, our friends at Bounding wrote this story. Nicola's back at it with this, and it says, thanks to unforeseen flight condition, too many people wanting to play the game. Okay, that's a turbulent launch cycle, they say. Now, mind you, we're recording this on the 23rd. I don't know when you'll be seeing it, but at this point, it's already been basically 2.5 days, almost 3 days since this game officially launched, and it's a nightmare for people. Again, released on the 19th, this latest entry in Microsoft 42-year-old gaming portfolio staple was anticipated by fans, I guess by more than they thought, at least over there at Asobo Studio. So as a result, the players tried to either download or play a Microsoft Flight Simulator, were instead either met with loading and install times measured in hours. Holy cow! In many cases, outright rejected from accessing the game's servers at all. To add insult to injury, and this is the rough part, guys. I want you to respond to this. The game's long install time counts towards Steam's 2-hour refund window, leaving any player who attempted to refund their purchase on the basis of being unable to actually play being left out in the dry. As a result of these issues, the game received over 2,000 negative reviews on Steam, leaving it with an overwhelmingly negative rating. Last thing, and then I need you guys to respond because this is crazy talk. One of the frustrated players, Scarla8888, perfectly described the situation many were experiencing, writing, stuck at 97% on the loading screen for 65 minutes. Gave up and will try another day. One of the biggest companies on the planet, and they cannot get their servers right for launch day. Gentlemen, if this is counting towards like playtime, this player should automatically refund this and then try again because this is a nightmare I can't even imagine. Loki, I think you have some insight as to why maybe this is being stuck at 97% is killing their playtime.
Okay, I just checked. Install time when you're installing the program through Steam and it's bringing the data over, you aren't actually playing your game, so you don't get any time. The problem is when you load up this game for the first time, it wants to install files through its own system. It's not going through Steam. So you're getting even more files from Microsoft after you load up the game. So as she's sitting there on the load screen and it's downloading more files and it's doing its thing, the game is active and playing. So you're losing that 2-hour window because of Microsoft. Steam's not counting its own install that you did before you hit the play button. That's the problem. And this is something Steam needs to take care of. They need to go to Microsoft and say, if you're going to have a 2-hour install time after we already installed the files on our end, then you need to take care of this. That's what I would do if I was Steam, is hold Microsoft's feet to the fire. They do not have to put up with this. They don't have to have Microsoft games on Steam, and they know it, and Microsoft knows it. So get those people their refunds, figure out what happened. They should know they can have access to all that. They have access to your playtime and what you did and your achievements. They'll be able to tell whether you were telling the truth or not. Get these people their refunds.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, Nolan, that doesn't seem like very fair treatment if you were basically sacrificing your playtime to loading some outside packages that aren't going through Stream. That seems a problem, doesn't it?
Absolutely, especially seeing as how in the time it's probably taken to download this game, you could probably catch a flight to Atlanta or something and be back in the time it takes to finish loading. And I gotta say it's pretty pathetic too, because this series has been around since what, the 80s on the Apple II? So they should have had this stuff ready to go to be having a great smooth flight per se to give everyone a great experience. Like this is ridiculous and kind of bloats the numbers. It's dumb.
Yeah, and I think there's a real problem here, and this has been around for quite some time. I'm not sure all the way back to the Apple II, but maybe I'm wrong. I will say that another user here gives us some feedback saying, where do I start? Right now, I don't recommend buying this game. Its launch was a total failure, something you wouldn't expect from something that big like Microsoft is. I have 6 hours on this simulator, and I can say I've been in the simulator itself for exactly 25 minutes before I thought I would restart it, and I've never got in again. Oh my gosh. I've always thought GTA 5 multiplayer was the loading simulator, but Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 assured me of anything else, initially concluding their thoughts with the warning, right now, do not buy. Now, Dami would later edit their post ad, whoa, so Microsoft fixed loading, but now the simulator is unplayable. Game crashes every 10 minutes, even if you ain't doing anything. Great job, Microsoft. Now, mind you, this isn't the only story on this. Okay. Everybody here follow me because there's another one that I want to show you. It's this one coming to us from Eurogamer. Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is the patch that I think the last user was referring to. Deploys new patch, offers advice for players experiencing stability issues, a hard day's flight. Man, there's a lot of humor in these last two articles. So as Zobo has advised Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 players to remove your community packages if they experience persistent instability issues or long loading times. The notice appended to the release notes, as Azobo noted that outdated packages in the community folder could adversely impact performance, adding that relocating the packages to another folder and relaunching the game should help. Yeah, but you're going to have to reload a bunch of junk again before you, the most recent packages before you play. This is absolute insanity to me.
It should do that. It should do that when it patches. When the game patches, it is the patch job to do all that and take care of everything behind the scenes. If there is a clog in the drain, that is on you. They keep making this cheap garbage and they keep expecting people to buy it with a smile on their face and the song in their heart. That is not the way this works. Most people, most young gamers on PC, they have no idea what a file folder structure is. They have no idea how to go through their C, go through program files, go to this, go to Steam apps, go to Steam Common, and then sit there and find their game, pick it out, and move packages. They have no idea how to do that. And even if you gave them the instructions online, they're still going to struggle with it. And I said most, not all, brother. I know you're younger than we are, but still, no one should be expected to do that.
Well, let me ask you a question then, and you're right. I mean, there are a lot of people certainly wouldn't know how to handle it, but I'm going to ask Nolan a slightly different question. When was the last time we saw a spectacular failure at launch of a video game? I mean, I can name a couple. Can you? I mean, we haven't seen this kind of disaster for at least a couple of years, right?
Concord? Does that count?
Oh, I guess that's true. But that was a disaster for a completely different reason. Like for example, I'm going to throw Cyberpunk 2077 out there because it had all kinds of issues at launch. And prior to that, I'm going to say a famous Bethesda game that was pretending to be Fallout. Fallout 76. Do you remember that?
Ooh, ooh. I don't think I've ever seen such a consistent amount of people all just saying the game is complete and utter trash. Like, usually there's a little bit of varying different opinions and stuff. I just saw a whole fan base completely shut down after that game. And if I could say one more thing on Flight Simulator here real quick, I just want to say it doesn't really matter who you are. I don't think I've ever met a human alive who enjoys going to make a game work, whether it's going through folders, whether it's taking an NES cartridge and blowing on it just to try to make it work. This is unacceptable across the board. And surely with a game of this kind of budget, this shouldn't even be happening.
Yeah, especially from as large an organization as Microsoft. Although we've watched them deteriorate through DEI. I mean, you can't spell deteriorate without DEI. Um,
Maybe
you know,
Blizzard infected them when they bought Blizzard, because Blizzard had, the Diablo 4 fiasco, the Diablo
yeah.
3 fiasco. They've had multiple online games where, oh, well, you just can't get in because you have to be constantly connected online. Same problems.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say that, this is once again the lowering of the bar of what once was maybe a great video game studio for a period of time anyway. But I think now we're all at a loss. It's impossible to enjoy games anymore if from the very moment you install them, you're fighting them. And I think that's got to stop. Gentlemen, last words. We'll start with you, Loki.
Guys, get your stuff together. You're Microsoft. This is embarrassing. You are embarrassing. You're not only embarrassing yourselves, but you're embarrassing the entire industry. Oh, there's too many people online, so we're not going to let anybody get on. Really? You didn't expect that? You didn't know how many sales you had? You didn't know what to expect? It's just like Blizzard, like I mentioned earlier. They didn't know how many sales to expect, how many people were trying to get online. No, they knew, and they just wanted to stress test the whole thing. And what happens? It all goes wacky. You can't get on. You're ticked. You're getting a 50918 error. And you're like, what is that? Server overload. And you're just like, why do I even bother? Why? Because they don't want you playing this without that thing phoning home. They do not want you in these games without calling mama and making sure it's okay to let this person on. All of this needs to go. All of it.
Agreed. Nolan, your final thoughts.
Well, if they really want to turn this franchise into delayed flight simulator, they should go the distance, get a screaming child next to you, see people playing the game in the distance, get a bunch of security people staring at you. They can go the distance with this if they want to. Yeah, no, it's awful. And for a series that's been around for quite a while, it's pretty shameful. I'm kind of sad by that.
Yeah, I'm sad as well. And our audience might be. You guys let us know what you think about the complete lack of launch for a lot of people of flights on the launch day for Flight Simulator 2024. And any other thoughts you have on the many issues that we're now seeing from gaming companies that are tied to the direct, the direct effects of DEI, ESG, etc., on competency, because I think we have a competency crisis. What do you think? On that note, as we always say, get your game on.